defined its laws? And why is everything so perfectly adjusted? Some scientists, like Yang Zhenning, believed that the universe was molded by a natural force, an impersonal God, with no conscience, no will, no purpose. For them, God is just a poetic name for the laws of physics. But is it really? In this video, we'll debunk this dangerous and empty idea that tries to replace the living creator with a mathematical formula. We'll show you why the universe couldn't have arisen by chance, nor by blind forces, and why only a conscious, all-powerful, and eternal God can be the true origin of everything that exists. If you believe that the universe has a purpose, if you believe that there is more than atoms and formulas, then this video is for you. Translated with deepl.com, free version. The history of the universe has never been just an equation. It pulses with questions that science has never answered. Before men invented telescopes, there was a void, not in space, but in spirit. And even now, with millions of formulas, machines, and theories, that void remains. Because it's not space that challenges us, it's meaning, the why that science avoids like a broken mirror. Yang Zhenning, a name carved into the greatness of physics, dared to offer an answer, but not an answer that relieves. He said that God exists, but not as a conscious, loving, creative being. For him, God is just an equation hidden in the fabric of matter, a natural flow, a statistical function, elegant chance, and there at the heart of that statement something dies. The mystery dies, the sacred dies, the heart of the universe that pulses in us like longing for a forgotten home dies. But who taught gravity to obey its dance without missing a step? Who tuned the speed of light to the compass of time? Who hid in the galaxies the melody that touches our soul without us realizing? No equation can explain the feeling of eternity we feel when we look at the sky. No theory can justify the silent tears that fall before infinity, because what is deeply true cannot be measured. It can only be felt. They call it superstition. We call it sacred intuition. Translated with deepl.com, free version. Why doesn't time stop? Why does it drag us along like a river with no turning back? Physicists will say increasing entropy, the second law of thermodynamics. But what about the emptiness it leaves inside us? Who can answer for it? Because nobody lives by laws. We live on meanings, and this is the abyss that cold science refuses to see. It explains everything except what really matters, the purpose of being here. Yang Zhenning tried to solve the universe with logic, but forgot to solve man. Because man isn't just made of flesh and calculations. He's made of ancestral memories, invisible scars, questions that hurt. And when he looks to the sky, he's not looking for atoms. He's looking for God. Not a God made of nature, but a God who breathes within the soul, who whispers in the silence, who lights a fire in the darkness of consciousness. There's something in us that doesn't bend to the coldness of numbers. It's that feeling that invades us when we hold the hand of someone we love for the first time. It's the lump in your throat when you bury someone. It's the inexplicable shiver when you see a shooting star. That's not physics. That's God trying to remind us that we were made in his image, and that science, however beautiful, will never replace the sacred. The universe may have begun with an explosion, but human consciousness was born out of silence, a silence so profound that it still echoes within each of us when night falls and the noise of the world finally falls silent. It is there, in that space between breathing and the abyss, that we feel the call, not of an equation, but of a presence, an intelligence that can't be measured, that can't be explained, but that you feel like a calm fire behind your chest. They say that God is nature, but nature doesn't cry with us. Nature doesn't kneel at the grave of a child. Nature doesn't know forgiveness. The real God, the one that scientists like Yang Zhenning didn't want to accept, is the God who suffers with us, who inhabits the cracks in the world, and who reveals himself not in formulas, but in the collapse of those who have lost everything and still choose to love. This God is not in the telescope, it's in the broken heart that refuses to die. Because if everything is just chance, if there is no mind behind the cosmos, then why do we still hunger for eternity? Why do we still long for a place we've never been? Perhaps because we came from there. And that's why the attempt to reduce God to a blind force is more than a philosophical error. It's a betrayal of our very essence. We weren't born to be meaningless. We were born to remember the one who created us. There are silences that speak louder than any answer, and it is in this silence, where the noise of the world falls away, that we begin to hear the truth that has always been there. Hidden, perhaps, by the borrowed certainties of men, or by the exact formulas of those who try to measure what is immeasurable. The universe is not just a field of forces, particles, or equations. It pulses, it feels, it responds, not to our calculations, but to our consciousness. How can we explain the fact that everything seems to be in tune like an invisible symphony, that even the smallest particle dances to music that nobody wrote or did write, but we forgot to listen to it? Why does everything have limits, form, harmony, contrast, and meaning? And why, even in the face of so much order, do we still believe that chance can be the author of creation? Science doesn't fail in its search for answers. It fails by forgetting that deep down, the questions that matter have no owner. They are the silent cries of the soul. Einstein bowed before this harmony, but he didn't worship a God made in the image of men, but in the image of the inexplicable beauty of the universe itself. Yang Zhenning tried to separate the creative mind from the conscious divinity, as if it were possible to separate fire from its light. But the truth is that all knowledge that doesn't generate reverence is just noise. And noise doesn't support the weight of existence. Gravity can hold the planets together, but only mystery sustains faith. And without faith, not blind faith, but faith that sees with the eyes within, there is no path, only emptiness.